Okay, so Dr. Forbath, tell us about these interesting things.
Well, the shirts, probably the first part of the 20th century, were very heavily starched shirts to wear with formal wear. But then in the 1930s, when the Prince of Wales was the fashionable man of the world, who eventually abdicated from the throne, he said that it was very difficult, and he brought in the non-starched white shirts to wear with a formal attire. And then it became, which is still around here, that they made the pleated type of shirts. And when I had the formal wear, and I went to these people, everywhere it was a pleated type of shirts. Most people wear, even today, pleated type of shirts. But I was thinking, I'm a little bit, how should I say, I like sometimes to be a little bit innovative and a little bit out of the regular way. I thought, why shouldn't I wear a shirt which would go with a formal wear, but it is different. So I started to have that, I have made ordinary white shirts which was made by a shirt maker here in Toronto. But before the shirt was made, I asked, please bring all the cut parts back to me. So they brought the cut parts back to me, and I sent it to a part of Hungary where it is, which is famous about embroidery. And this is called mezőköves. This type of pattern is mezőköves, and this is the way they would make a tablecloth. They would make a doily on the table and so on. So on this particular shirt, as you could see, part of it was made on this part which is buttoning down. Part of it was made on the shirt which is in the front, and part of it is made on the collar. And once the embroidery was made, they sent the material back to me, and then the shirt maker made the shirt. And naturally, in formal wear, it was always French cuff. And then it did depend of what type of cufflinks you had. And cufflinks, that was probably one of the very rare jewelry which a man was permitted to wear. Usually in Hungary, the cufflinks should not be large. Large cufflinks were considered to be a little bit riche nouveau. And because this was so successful, and you know, I had lots of ladies in the family, and when it came to a Christmas or it came to a birthday, they thought, what can you buy for a man who has everything? But these ladies, it was their ideas that they would have some ties for ordinary suits made for me. And these are 4 ties which they buy a good silk tie, and then as the tie went in, and it was a nice tie, they took it apart. And they sent the silk material, I think they are all French ties, and all the silk material was sent to this embroidery town in Hungary, and in the same mezőköves, they made the various mezőköves motifs. They sent it back, then the ladies was sewing the tie back into to have it. So I was wearing all those ties, and I was just mentioning it that I have 2 more which I am wearing, but probably I should give it to you because I think it should be preserved. So I have 6 of those ties, and these I wore to any type of suit where I thought that this type of color would go with the socks.
Did you have a suit that was not Mr. Laszlo's suit?
Or only after his death.
Only after his death?
So as long as he lived, he made all the suits for me. He died around 2000. So this one is now a Toronto tailor. He's an Italian tailor and he makes the suits for me. But in the last 3 years, I have found another tailor in Hungary. So now he is making again. You would never believe it. This tailor in Hungary makes a made-to-measure pair of pants for $50. He's in Debrecen, but by now, and he has my measure, so I usually go to one of those cloth stores, and you can buy one of the very expensive materials, remnants, which is about 1 meter 20, which is only for a pair of pants, and it sells for $15. And then I send it to Hungary if somebody comes to visit, or I go for $50. He's tailoring me. So I have made a made-to-measure pants for about $65. You cannot buy it even ready-made these days.
And who's the Toronto Italian tailor? Where's he, or what's his name?
Salvatore. Probably have his full name and his address at home.